Hey YouTube, what's up? This is going to be a video about a every trade in the NBA trade deadline madness that it was. It was absolute insanity. Picks, second round picks were going left and right. Your favorite player got traded. His cousin probably got traded too, and everybody's still looking at the buyout market. The West went from super close and Ja going, oh, I'm not worried about the West, to now having like arguably five of the best duos in the NBA. And then there's also Jokic and the Nuggets and Ja and the Grizzlies. So kind of wild. Um, but either way, I'm going to be reacting to this Bleacher Report article that supposedly has every single trade. Yeah, look, you can see there it says grading every deal at the trade deadline. Uh, so we're gonna do that. All right, cool. Peace. All right. Don't know why my camera isn't working, so maybe we'll just switch back and forth as I see fit. All right. Um, Yes, it is chaotic. Deal. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. All right. Kevin Durant to Phoenix. The Brooklyn Nets received Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson. They got 4 unprotected picks and a pick swap. And the Suns got KD and TJ Warren. So honestly, a minus trade for the Nets. I would say this is probably if you were gonna trade KD, like this was by far the best you were gonna do. I don't think there would have been another trade out there for a player like anyone that would be willing to trade for KD. This is by far the most you would be able to get, and honestly, it could end up being really good for the Nets because the Suns window with Kevin Durant, Chris Paul might be really bad, and Devin Booker has had an history of getting injured. So, hey, maybe he gets injured one year and the Suns are just fucked in like 2026 or whatever. And then just the Nets are going to get like a top 3 pick. So, shit can happen. Shit can happen. Um, so yeah, A minus. Sure, sure, sure. I don't really care so much about what this guy has to say because this is my video. Suns A minus. I would say A. Yes, this is the new team governor. This is like the very first time that it hasn't been Robert Sarver, and they just made a massive splash. Um, yeah, massive super team right here. D'Angelo Russell to the Lakers. Mike Conley to Minnesota. Also Westbrook to Utah. Yes, sir. This was a big time 3-teamer. Uh, Malik Beasley, D'Lo, Jared Vanderbilt to the Lakers for Russell Westbrook and a first round pick, which went to the Jazz along with Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones. And it turns into a second rounder if it doesn't get conveyed, which is kind of hilarious. Also, the Wolves get Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Mike Conley, Memphis or Washington. I already kind of gave my thoughts on this trade, but in another video. But this is great for the Lakers, great for the Wolves. The Jazz low key kind of got fleeced. I feel like they gave up a lot of players. Granted, they were all on expiring deals, so that's probably why the price wasn't as high as you'd think. And they weren't really going to retain a lot of them. So they got something that could be extremely valuable out of some quality players. And, you know, we'll see how it goes out. Obviously, Juan Toscano Anderson and Damian Jones are just cap killer. Lakers A, Timberwolves C minus. Ooh, wow, they gave Timberwolves a C minus. They aren't necessarily better after this deal, but the roster does immediately make more sense. Yeah, Conley's having a rock solid season. So why is this a C minus? Because he's older, and his contract is not as bad as D'Angelo Russell's contract. Okay, sure. I mean, D'Lo wasn't going to sign back. This is a stupid reason for it to be a C minus. I'm not saying it isn't a C minus. Like he might have other thoughts, but like based on what he's written, I disagree. Jazz B, yeah, sounds about right. Um, yeah, because I wouldn't say this is a bad trade for them. I would have given them a B, and I would have given the Wolves like a B plus, or maybe like a B minus for the Jazz. Maybe like a B minus. Sounds about right. Jay Crowder to Milwaukee. Yeah, for a bunch of second round picks, right? Three second round picks from. Oh, I thought it was five. Oh, the Pacers got two of them. I see. I see. See, this is why this is why it's important to go back and look at this shit. I'm gonna see. Is that too bright? No, that looks fair. All right. This is why it's important to go back and look at these things, and I'm glad for that this article exists because holy crap, my phone was buzzing every 2 seconds, and I was working, and then I had a doctor's appointment, so I was not looking at all these trades. Yeah, so the Nets get 3 second round picks. Here we're gonna switch over. Uh, the Pacers receive George Hill, Serge Ibaka, who they bought out. Jordan Nwora, who I believe they also bought out, and 2 second round picks. Actually, sorry, no, they didn't buy out Jordan Nwora. I don't know why I thought that. They bought out Serge Ibaka. The Bucks got Jay Crowder. How good is Jay Crowder nowadays? Like realistically, how good is this player? I don't know. He hasn't played in 6 months, and last time he played, he looked solid, but like he's not. I'm granted these are just second round picks that the trade that they're getting in the trade, but still. But still. The Nets, A, sure. Pacers, A minus. They did buy out, what's his name? Oh, and they also, they were trying to sell the Now Wave Goga Badazzi. They definitely did sell him. All right, great. Stab in the dark. I mean, sure, I don't know a ton about Jordan Nwora, honestly. I'm not a massive Jordan Nwora fan. But, this guy seems high on him. I don't have much to say about Jordan Nwora. Bucks, C plus. Yeah, Jay Crowder is kind of questionable for 5 second round picks, which is a lot. And they all came from Milwaukee. The Nets only got 3 of them though. Mo Bamba to the Lakers. Like a motherfucking dog. Dude, I listened to that song after this trade happened. PatBev, second round pick, cash considerations. Likely to be bought out. Yeah, PatBev is one of those players who, I mean, he's also not having the best season of his career after, the Timberwolves, which one of the better seasons of his career. So this is not looking great for him. He's not like Westbrook, who's going to get 4 chances. Well, Westbrook had 4 chances. Who knows? Melo didn't get more than one. Played bad at OKC. Was bought out within 10 games at the Rockets. So shit, you can be out real quick. Look at Dwight Howard, man. Uh, I mean, I think this is an upside. First thing first, Mo Bamba. Like I have this dude doesn't play ever, so I mean, I assume that this is good because when I have seen Mo Bamba play, I think he is good, but he just like I feel like for Pat Bev and a second round pick, I feel like you could have done better, but maybe not at the position and not with who is available, realistically. So, honestly, solid trade. I had to think about it for a second. All right, what does this guy say? He remained expendable, sure. Super useful, dual purpose asset. The concept of his, yes. Yeah, and they got Jared Vanderbilt too. So, I mean, that's true. I have to think about it more in context of the guys they traded for, because that's right, Jared Vanderbilt's on the team now. As is D'Lo, as Malik Beasley. Uh, yeah, 10.3, fully non-guaranteed. Cool. Just again, this is like the Lakers definitely want to get Kyrie next year. So the Mavs giving up all that for Kyrie is kind of wild. Magic, sure, they got a second round pick for a player that didn't play for them. Uh, this pick, I have a lot to say about James Wiseman. Got a lot to say about James Wiseman. Uh, so the trade was Sadiq Bey to the Hawks. The Pistons got Wiseman. Holy, is this what I think it is? No, it's not. Okay, cool. All right, I thought for a second that I had like malware on my computer. Um, so the Hawks get Sadiq Bey, the Pistons get Wiseman, Golden State Warriors get Gary Payton the second. Blazers receive Kevin Knox and 5 second-round picks. Woo, what a trade. Okay, so the second-round picks are from Atlanta, but Golden State were the one who traded them because these are functionally two separate trades. They are right. Initially, Kevin Knox and the picks were going to the Warriors for Wiseman. And not, I was like, oh my god, Kevin Knox is such a, this guy's not a good player. I'll be real, I haven't watched him much in the past season, but he's like not a guy that you're like super enthusiastic about getting, even though he's a former lottery pick. This guy's not a fantastic player. Granted, the Blazers are trading for upside at this point. I think. I think they're looking for young players who they're playing like a gotcha game, like where they're just like getting as much as they can and seeing what hits because they need more talent around Dame Lillard clearly, and like I mean, all but for real, the second round picks, like, and I don't think they made another trade after this, so they just got 5 second-round picks, which seems so effing stupid to me. Like, I mean, I understand Gary Payton's been injured, and he definitely wasn't as good for them as he was for the Warriors, but man, yeah, Sadiq Bey is going to be solid for the Hawks. I mean, he gives them some more depth, especially because they've been lacking. And it also seems like they keep trying to trade John Collins. Nobody effing wants him. So I think they maybe made this trade thinking that they were going to keep John Collins, or sorry, get rid of John Collins, but then like realized later like that wasn't going to be the case. Um, James Wiseman goes to the Pistons, and I mean, for his worth to be 5 second-round picks, this is really what I want to talk about. I'll read the rest of the trade. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the Warriors get Gary Payton. Cool. Um, I want to see what he has to say, and then I'll say what I have to say. The Hawks needed serviceable depth. Bang gives them positional flexibility. Sure, cheap. Okay, cool. I guess that's fair. I mean, it just feels like Sadiq Bey could be giving them better minutes, and John Collins, while good, feel like he doesn't want to be there, and that's definitely he plays like he doesn't want to be there. It's part of why Atlanta I don't think is so good. The Pistons are yeah. I mean, how are they getting a C for this? They got Wiseman. I mean, that being said, oh, shit. Yeah, no, they can't. Yeah, I mean, the issue with Wiseman has and Gary Payton II has always been money because Wiseman costs a ton of money. Sure, and the Blazers, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm sure. That's exactly how I felt about seeing it. All right. The thing that I wanted to say about Wiseman. James Wiseman is not a good player right now. It's just not. Every time I watch him, the last game that he played for the Warriors, it was in garbage time this past week, and there were some very fundamental things that he had supposedly been working on and we had kind of seen improvement in, like screen setting, like rolling, like knowing where to be on defense, getting up and down the floor. Just none of it was sticking. None of it was sticking. And part of it is PT, but like those are some things that like should not be affected by your playing time. Those are some of the things that should be like, hey, we need you to do 3 things for the Warriors. We need you to defend, we need you to get up and down the floor, and we need you to be a screen setter. Those are like the 3 things. They don't need his scoring, they don't need anything like that. They just needed him to be a good screener for Clay, for Steph, for Poole, for DiVincenzo, for anybody, for last season Otto Porter, like for literally anybody on the roster, so that they can get open threes. And I know that that's not his game, but those are some very fundamental, basic concepts in basketball. Even if I'm at the Y, like, and a dude sets a weak ass, and he only sets weak ass screens all game, I'm gonna be pissed. It's like, and if he does it, if nobody cuts to the basket all game, I'm gonna be pissed. And those are some very fundamental parts of the game, right? Like nobody moves, everybody's sitting along the side, just watching you, or all that shit is fundamental. And if you're thinking to yourself as you go into the game, all right, what am I gonna do in my 5 minutes that I'm gonna get to play? I'm gonna block a shot into the stands. Well, I'm gonna try to block a shot and keep it, but if, barring that, I'm gonna block that shit in the stands. I'm gonna play nice and fundamental. Well, not even the block shot shit, just play nice and fundamental, especially when you're not in the rotation. Like you don't want to hit a home run. You want to be solid. You want to be consistently solid. You want to set a good screen. You want to give a dribble handoff. You want to give the ball to, Draymond or, Kuminga and then roll. Roll. Because if you're setting a hard screen, you're going to have space to get a pass. And it just pisses me off that, like, even when he's in the pick and roll, which is supposedly what his strength is, Wiseman was never able to do that. He was never able to actually succeed in a pick and roll, like on a consistent basis in the NBA, which is problematic in the extreme as a center. If you're not good on defense, you're fouling a lot, and you're not getting up and down the floor, so you're not in transition defense, you're just like giving up buckets. So you're shit on defense, and offensively, you can't set screens and get, which will enable you to get points as a roll man. You're fucking worthless in the NBA. Like, that's like, you're worthless. And there's a lot of talent there, but that's all it is at this point. And I feel like after 3 years, yes, there's been the injuries, yes, there's been all this other shit, but like, bro, like you, just from watching film, you should have improved psychologically. Like psychologically, mentally, just be like, you should be better. In 3 years' time, you should be a better player. You should not have regressed. It's frustrating. And hopefully, like, even on the Pistons, you might get, they've got Marvin Bagley as well, don't they? Like, I don't even, are the Pistons even the right spot for him? Like, do the Pistons really want Wiseman? Like, is Wiseman the ideal guy to play with Cade Cunningham? I mean, that's probably the best he's gonna get, but like, I don't know what Wiseman really brings other than just being vertical, And Nerlens Noel's on that squad, and Nerlens Noel is one of the better shot blockers in the league for sure. Like he at least he was when he was on the Knicks, and I think he's been maintaining that from what I've seen. Not quite as prolific because he's not getting the same minutes, but I just don't see Wiseman being a better option for winning games. At, sure, he'll have 3 months to play this season, but like next season, I don't know, man. Wiseman could be out of the league real quick. I'm not saying that he's a bust yet, but man needs to get his shit together. Um, as far as the Warriors getting Gary Payton back, I mean, he plays great, but the Warriors really need a big body. Literally just any big body to put out there at some point who can play defense at all. Like at all. I don't like Dwight Howard is in Thailand. Like he doesn't really fit the Warrior system at all, but like he can be a big body for like 5 minutes if your guys are in trouble during the regular season. And like in the postseason, he's not anything fantastic, but like, hey, he's a guy who's got experience. And like he's still super athletic, right? Like he's not limping up and down the floor yet. So I just don't it, but Gary Payton's a great pickup. I mean, Ty Jerome, that puts Ty Jerome in a weird spot. I don't know how he's going to get minutes because right now, yeah, Steph's out, so you've got Clay, Poole, DiVincenzo, and Gary Payton. It's four guards. The Warriors play small, so yeah, Ty Jerome might get some more minutes, but once Steph comes back, that's five guards ahead of him in the rotation, and he's been good this year. So, fuck, I don't know. Jakob Poeltl to Toronto. Ken Birch, first round pick, 2 seconds for Jakob Poeltl. Solid trade overall. I don't want to get in those one too much. Jakob Poeltl is a good player, and I feel like the Raptors should be selling, but I mean they clearly don't want to, so I guess they got Jakob Poeltl. Oh, this guy's yep, same thing. Another pending free agent. I mean, if Poeltl resigns there, like that's great for them. Like he's great. He fits exactly what the Raptors like to do, like, exactly what they like to do. But I mean, does it make them a top three team in the East? Fuck no. It's just, I mean, maybe if Fred VanVleet goes back to being like all star caliber, but even then, like I still feel like they're a guy short, like a good guy short, a Kawhi Leonard short, you know. Next trade, Bones Highland and the Clippers. I saw this. I was so. What was the exact details of the trade? A second round pick and 2 seconds for Bones Highland? What? I. That's so baffling. That is a crazy. That is a wild trade. What? What? I'm like in utter disbelief right now. Like, he's a good player. What does this guy got to say about it? This is a horrific look for the Nuggets. Had completely fallen out of rotation because live wire shot maker who can make splashy plays off the dribble are inherently valuable for all of his flaws, including zero defensive resistance, which the Nuggets, do lack. He's still only 22 and has two more years left. Yeah, like you didn't even get a player back, and they're trying to win now. And Highland like has a value. I mean, is this really all they could get for him? And at that point, like, do you trade him? Like, wouldn't you rather at least just have the concept of Bones Highland in the playoffs? Yeah, exactly. Dude, this guy gets it. Clippers, yeah, they got Bones Highland. This is okay, cool. Josh Richardson to New Orleans. Devontae Graham for 4 second round picks. Wow, that's a trade that happened that I didn't know. So the Spurs got Devontae Graham, which I mean, sure. I don't know what the Spurs are doing. Devontae Graham and 4 second round picks is a lot to get for Josh Richardson, and I guess they're gonna try to flip Devontae Graham or buy him out or something. I don't think Josh Richardson is gonna be an A minus. I mean, I guess they really weren't doing much with Graham. At least Josh Richardson can contribute. Cool. Staying under the luxury tax. Whatever. Yeah. Making sure head coach Willie Green can't play Graham. Yeah. Richardson doesn't seem like an amazing player. I mean, it's mid, but maybe mid is enough because the Pelicans have a lot of talent. So maybe mid is what you want. Mason Plumlee to the Clippers. Reggie Jackson to be bought out, and a second round pick for Mason Plumlee. Mason Plumlee has had like every poster this season on him, but he's a big body, and the Clippers needed a big body, needed it bad because it was just pretty much Zubats. Yikes. And Reggie Jackson, sure. I mean, they got a second round pick. Kind of a nothing trade. Eric Gordon to the Clippers, Luke Kennard to the Grizzlies. Uh, cool. The Clippers got Eric Gordon. Nice. Memphis Grizzlies got Luke Kennard. That's really good for the Grizzlies. Wow. And the Rockets get Danny Green, John Wall. Back to the Rockets. I just remember seeing that earlier and being like, oh, fuck. Rights to swap a first rounder with the Clippers. And yeah, so it's a first round pick swap. Danny Green and John Wall for Eric Gordon in 3 seconds, which I assume are from the Grizzlies. And Luke Kennard. I mean, that's a great trade for the Grizzlies. Great trade. I mean, honestly, yeah, solid trade. I mean, yeah, everything's good. Hopes of bagging a first round pick, they just gave it up. I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a solid trade all around. I feel like C plus is kind of low, but yeah, sure. I feel like it's better than a B plus for the Grizzlies. I would give this like an A for them. This is like, do I wish they took a bigger swing than Luke Kennard? I mean, who else were they gonna get that like really would have changed something for them? Like the one guy on that like did get traded, Jakob Poeltl, but I mean, Spurs wanted draft compensation, and I don't think that they were gonna let him get away without trading a first. So, and I don't really think the Grizzlies wanted to give up on what they have with Jaren Jackson Jr. and Steven Adams, and Jakob Poeltl in that would make Steven Adams a bit redundant, and he's already solid. So it's like, do you really need to give up a first when you probably want to be playing Jakob Poeltl more than, I don't know, backup minutes? Like, not really. I mean, OG Anunoby maybe, but I don't think the Raptors are selling. They're not sellers at this point. So, um, yeah, I would say this is better because Luke Kennard is great. 44.7%. That's fire. I mean, the Grizzlies, this makes the Grizzlies much harder to guard, like as a team. They really needed this. Justin Holiday. I mean, this is like very necessary because the entire West got better. Justin Holiday to Houston, Garrison Matthews to Atlanta. Cool. Nice. I don't care. Dario Saric to OKC, Darius Bazley to Phoenix. Darius Bazley to Phoenix. I heard about this. Good, solid. Suns C minus. Saric for Bazley. I mean, I think Bazley's good defensively, and I think it'll work better. I don't think this will be. Yeah, but just because it's not like amazing doesn't mean it's a C minus. Like if it's not like at least a C. Like I don't. Josh Hart to New York. Yes, this happened. I also talked about this in another video. They got Ryan Arcidiacono too. I didn't know that. And Svi Mikhailuk. Yeah, cool. We got roster spots. Cam Reddish and a first round pick. It's one of our own. Turns into 4 second rounders if not conveyed. Yep. I would almost just. Oh, it's lottery protected only, huh? And that's for this upcoming year. I mean, it's only lottery protected. Mmm. Mmm. That's distasteful. Oh, I've been on my own face this entire time. Oops. I've been scrolling. Here are the things. Those are the trades that I missed. Uh, Josh Hart to New York. Whack. Not gonna lie, it's just lottery protected. That's fucking lame. Yeah, C. This is a C. This is more of a C minus. Cause I'll be real. I'll be real. Hold up. Back on me. Back on me. Josh Hart is good player. Like him. I feel like he's overhyped just a little bit. I feel like everybody's a Josh Hart fan. Everybody's a Josh Hart fan, and I'm a Josh Hart fan, but like not like a fan. Like I like him, but he's not that great. He's a solid. He's a glue guy that's not like a super efficient at any one thing that he does. which limits his effectiveness as a glue guy. Yes, he's good defensively, but he's not great defensively. He can pass, but he's not an amazing passer. Like for as far as like role players, like none of these are standout skills of his. And he's like an okay shooter. He can kind of dribble a little bit, like he can drive, he can penetrate, but like not really. He's competent. Like I feel like his mold is Dante DiVincenzo, and Dante DiVincenzo is just better at everything, pretty much. Cool. He's not the cleanest fit on offense. All first team shoots worse from three than you think. 31%, right? Like it's just not like it's solid, but like for a first rounder, that's kind of wild. If it was just Cam Reddish and Svi Mikhailuk and Ryan Arcidiacono, it would have been like who cares? But like the first round pick really kind of makes his arrival a bad taste instead of like I mean to be fair, like even if we drafted some guy in the first round like this upcoming year, wouldn't we rather just have Josh Hart on some fundamental level, like because the guy probably wouldn't be good enough to play likelihood, but I mean I don't know. Feels weird. Feels weird. Cool. Matisse Thybull to Portland. Good A trade for Portland. Love it. Jalen McDaniels. Oh, it's three. Oh, Svi Mikhailuk ended up going to. Yeah, sure. He's gonna get minutes in the Hornets. Let's go. Uh, Jalen McDaniels, a second round pick, and another second round pick for Matisse Thybull, who wasn't even getting minutes for them anyways. Sure. Sixers, cool. Blaze really only C plus. I mean, I feel like his defense is very much needed, and if he can do what Gary Payton was supposed to do, but was injured for mostly, it'll be great. Thomas Bryant to Denver, sure, who cares? You got Davon Reed. At least they got Thomas Bryant. Mike Muscala to Boston. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, that's just another guy who can give you minutes on a Tuesday. Maybe he'll go in the playoffs at some point. I don't know. Somebody fouls out and he gives you 5 uninspiring minutes before you're like, shit, we lost the game. And that's it. Wow. Holy shit, that was long. That's a lot of trades. Wild trade deadline. Wild trade deadline. Wild trade deadline. Alright, this video is massive. Alright, thank you for watching, whatever you watched, and I should probably edit this.